Hail, hail! The Celts are here, and we are in the 11th hour almost of the January transfer window, and we're here for a wee bit of transfer chat. Fist bumps to you all on arrival. Apologies for being a little bit behind. I had some other developments elsewhere, and they kind of just slowed me down a little bit. So thanks for bearing with me, everyone. And yeah, tons of stuff to get stuck into. Lots of rumour, lots of. I was about to say, new names in the frame, but it's kind of not really the. I don't know. Are they in the frame? Is it more of the same? I've been watching the comments pop in. I've been watching the comments pop in as I was firing up the stream and catching up with a bit of time here. And it's a weird one. I don't know how much credence or how much weight to put in some of the stuff we're going to chat about today. And I thought we would go for the show today about now, obviously about the 6 o'clock mark, and just kind of cross my fingers and toes that maybe something could happen. We're going to go through the tail of the tape. Who's kind of been in the rumor mill? What is the kind of the word on the street? And, how the chips are hoping to fall, I guess, is probably the Celtic's point of view right now. So we'll have a look at that. And we'll also have, like I normally like to do in these videos, I've got one new name or a few recurring names. Just, from the way things stand, who would I go and get? Who are the sort of players we should be looking at? Celtic just released a statement. Is that in regards to the Trusty thing? I think someone said that Trusty, the appeal hasn't, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Like, they're not going to admit, just noticed that that's out of kilter, sorry. They're not going to admit that, the show that Gordon Duncan does, that will be where the proof's in the pudding, because you'll know that they're, you can hear, I could hear it with Gordon Duncan on Clyde 1 on Monday night, and Roger Hanna and Halliday talking about, you could hear just how, they were just clinging to, if any of you listened to Scoreboard on Monday night, somebody phoned up and read the rules verbatim, right? And the goal scoring one, when you read what the goal scoring rule is verbatim in the rules, it is denial of what would have been seen as a clear goal. Like, it's not a shot. It's like it would have been like fair chance. It's like 1-on-1 with the keeper. The keeper's out of the net, something like that. And then listening to Gordon Duncan, Roger Hanna, and Halliday all go, "Oh well, that's down to conjecture, isn't it?" And it's like, well, no, he's 25 yards away from goal, and the keeper's on his 6-yard line. I'm not going to blow any more steam off this regarding this, but in the breakdown to the Hearts video, I did go through it properly. We went through the footage. I drew arrows on it, and I kind of tried to get it off my chest there, but not surprised that the appeal, they're not going to admit that it was incompetence and blatant. Taps, love that, by the way, love that. And someone put a great comment in. So my kids' football training is on when it's on, so it's just the best thing to put on in the car, and then I end up just listening to it for a bit, just because I'm in the car and stuff. And then I might check out some Celtic streams that are on at that time. I know Ryan sometimes streams at 6 o'clock, and there's one or two other ones that I kind of flip between, as well as other stuff that's not Celtic related. I try and catch, but there was a great comment about a bid. There we go. That was it from FGC. Celtic have submitted a bid of 2 million and Stephen Welsh and 1 million club card points. I think that'll be from Asmanisi. Now, one thing that we do have today, which is a bit of news, and as we get stuck into this, everyone, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, you want to support the show, get into the live chat. Just drop a fist bump, drop a wee thumbs up if you want to. Feel free to get involved in the chat. I'll put the chat up on screen. Audience participation is always welcome in these ones. And if you could smash the like button, it goes a long way to supporting the channel. It just lets YouTube know we're having a good live stream, we're having fun, and they might go and find some more Jungle Gyms to come and hang out with us. And isn't that always for the better? This is the squad as we find it right now. Now, it feels like, I was thinking about this when I was like a couple of minutes late just coming into this, right? But it feels like the situation we've been in since last January is the problems have been there to see. We've had the money there to do it. And for one reason or another, it's just not happened. And it feels like the club is, it's almost as if, like, see, if we didn't have transfer windows, they would just try, you just know that, anyway, I don't want to just get into board bashing and just chatting about all that stuff, because we'll get to that. There's plenty of time for it in due course, right? But just how slow off the mark we are here is just incredible, considering how long in the tooth a lot of these situations with the club are. I've laid out the depth we've got for the current squad. We've obviously got the injured, the sick note brigade over here. Obviously, speedy recovery. Wish them all the best. We've seen Iheanacho pictured back on the grass. So they're actually not too far away. And I did have Odin home, but I think I deleted him by mistake because he was a wee wee custom ad. And some of you will be saying, Quinny, why even bother? Why even bother with Odenholm? And fair enough, right? But let's just stick him in there. You never know. He might come off the bench once or something, and then he's got his appearance for the season. But this is the lay of the land for the squad as we find it. And what I was kind of babbling about a moment ago, it kind of comes from, like, we've had the Hearts game, we've drawn with them, we've not beaten Hearts in 3 attempts, which is a statement in itself. And normally, like, the injuries or those shock results, they normally happen out with windows. They normally happen in, like, the November or the February, these types of times. And at that point, the club just go, oh, well, the transfer window's closed. There's nothing we can do about it. And they just sit on their hands. They don't actually get ready for the summer in any way, as we've seen now. But there is, we are in the window. And it feels like the Hearts, it feels like it was the same with Wilfred Nancy and his resignation. Like, the result is made, there's been I don't want to say a sea change, but you do feel that there's been, from just the word on the street, like, it's quickly, Martin O'Neill was quoted in and around the matches. The question that came from, I'm sure it was Josh McCafferty, formerly of CeltsAreHere, fist bump to Joshy boy over at Celtic Way. I'm sure it was from him, but he said 3 or 4 signings, and Martin said probably 1, But the kind of word on the street, the kind of rumour that's going around between all the ITK accounts and all the articles that are getting posted out everywhere is Celtic are scrambling to do 4 bits of business, right? And, like, honestly, we have not beaten Hearts again. We have Martin O'Neill. There is no excuses around the manager. There is no excuses around Brendan Rodgers and all the rest of it. There is no excuses anymore as well. For you cannot get top talent to come to Scotland. When you look at the business, not even the business that Hearts doing and how frugal they're being. And if you look at Hearts' net spend, they've not spent a brown penny this year. They sold Penrice for a couple of mil. That's done a lot of the heavy lifting of their transfer fees for this year. But Rangers have brought Scott Olsen, and he's only played 1 game. We don't want to get too carried away, right? But if you can add that into a few of the other players that they are sniffing around and they're trying to go for, there is absolutely no excuse. No excuse. You can attract people to Scotland. I've been saying it on this channel ever since we've been making videos. And Celtic and maybe some of the, I don't know, don't want to stereotype anyone, but some of the Scottish football focused, let's say, would have concurred with that. But Scotland isn't a bad place, man. Players go to all sorts of places. You know what I mean? The amount of Brazilians that moved to Ukraine, like, you know what I mean? Come on. And obviously there's big wages there, right? Fine. But point still stands. Again, Salzburg, bloody blah, whatever. This is the way that we find the squad. But we've had a little bit of news. We've had a bit of a development today where Shin Yamada is actually away to Germania. He's away to Bundesliga 2 to go and play for Prussen Münster down at the bottom of that table. And when I seen that news break today, I thought that's the Celtic way. That's the 1 in, 1 out that we've got up front. Kavan Karas came in. And I know Shin Yamada, for me and for a lot of you guys, isn't really on the depth chart at all. But just when you think the head count has went up, it equalises right as quickly as possible. And I don't care about specifically about Kavan Kara and Shin. It petrifies me that is still the apparatus that we are playing on with this window, that we might really need Balakwisha to appear Antwerp or MLS or something like that. Japan, you know what I mean? Or Bernardo. I don't even know who else you would put into that category right now as a probable exit and someone that really doesn't make a material difference to the team. We're not blessed with plenty of those guys that are on big wages. A lot of them are out on loan and such already, and there's no imminent transfer fee coming for any of them or any removal of their wages from the books. And I said this extensively on Axom on Monday, but there is no excuse for Celtic in the wage bill because it's only going to be short-lived. Once we get to the summer, Daizen Maeda will surely be leaving this year. I don't think there's much question about that. Ian Atchell's on a 1-year contract, and I think, like with his injury record, unless he makes some miraculous recovery, we've got an option of an extra year, and it's the club's decision, I think, for the most part. But again, if the wages for that don't make sense and you can do better, then Ian Atchell isn't going to be a burden. And really looking back at the rest of the squad, like, really, are any of these guys, like Srirachi's on loan, Schmeichel will be leaving, there's a goalkeeper to talk about as well in the mix. And I know some of these are probably sitting there screaming Hatate. Yeah, Hatate could probably leave in the summer as well. And if he did that, if you think wages-wise in the summer, what could possibly be leaving the books, I'd probably put Bernardo by the summer into this equation, surely. Let's put him up there. Just make it a nice wee kind of column if we can. Anyone else who could? I'm not going to include Kenny because who really cares about Kenny's wages in the grand scheme of anything? You know, that's a chunk of change, by the way. That is so like any wage constraint that we have right now is going to be short lived. I wouldn't see it as prohibitive, and I really hope that the Shinya Mada Kavan Kara thing that I think that we're getting a sniff of here. I really hope that's not the game they're still playing. It's that ship has sailed, you know. Forest, don't know. I'd keep honestly. You keep Forest till he retires, and Forrest has earned every contract, every minute, every appearance, and obviously his wage should be on the decline as well as appearance and impact to the squad. But he can stay for as long as he wants. You know, maybe the offers are not suitable for him anymore, and he makes another decision himself at some point. But I think Forrest, he's a one club man. You don't know why would you want Forrest to go play for fucking Hibs or something like that? Really, sorry about the swearing. Like, and that was the chat. I remember we just started making content on this channel when Forrest got the contract he's on the now under Ange. And it's like, you don't want Forrest, who's been at us forever, to go to Hibs or Dundee United or Aberdeen or whatever. You want him to be the Celtic guy, you know? Keep him here all the way, I say. And I say, like, his wages need to be matching with contribution to the squad. I'm not saying keep him on glory wages and annual increases and whatever. Yeah, like, really, like, if he wants to, Celtic should always, I think, have it open for him. But as I say, wages should be in line with, you know, appearing 5 times a season. Yeah, he's going to retire here, you know, and like if the wages aren't good enough for him or he can't carry on, he's not going to kick the back teeth out of it. But if he's still, I mean, the chat used to be, and I'm really sorry we had a tangent on Forest here, right? But when people have said before, oh, he'd be really good at Hibs or Dundee United to be one of the best players in the league. Cool. Well, see if he's our third choice winger, then that's brilliant. You know, like cool. And that's what he should be. I'm not saying we start him every week and we give him a new bumper contract. Don't get it twisted on me like that, guys. Come on. John McGlynn in the summer, imagine. Oh, by the way, yeah, it's a great shout. So we've got a lot to get stuck into, right? So we've had Shin out, and I really hope that there is no more. We need to wait for something to happen. Maybe Welsh does go because there's a lot of chat. I would not even rule out Sinisalo leaving because we've got a lot of chat about a centre back and a goalkeeper coming out. We'll talk on that first of all, I guess, right? Let's go to the goalkeeper. I don't know if the link is real, where it's coming from. I've tried to verify it as much as I can, and I'm not really getting much coming out of it. But the report is that Celtic want to enhance relations with Boca Juniors. We've also got Sriracha on loan from them, and we are lining up Leandro Bray to come in on loan to provide competition for Kasper Schmeichel this season. That was the kind of the word on the street around it, right? Now, this is a weird one. Leandro Bray has been on the scene at Boca for a while. He's a goalkeeper I'm familiar with. I don't watch a lot of Argentina, to be honest with you. But one thing I know about Leandro Bray is he's played for Boca Juniors a fair amount. And the other thing I know is that Boca Juniors keep signing old goalkeepers. They've got a really old one now, age of 37. Very good, don't get me wrong. The one they had before that was Romero, the guy that was back up at Man United for a while and a bunch of other places. And before that, they had a decent goalkeeper called Rossi, actually. He went to Saudi for a lot of money. He now plays in Brazil. And this guy, Bray, has been intertwined with all of those guys. He comes in, he plays well. Argentina is a very defensive-based league. He gets clean sheets. You know, he plays for one of the best teams in the league. He's done all right, you know, but they keep replacing him. He doesn't hold down his place. Now, is that they don't trust him? Is he making errors? Is other guys just better? Can they not? And this is only a little short sample. So anyway, I found that interesting. I find it quite plausible in a lot of levels, to be quite honest, as well, because the Argentinian calendar and our calendar don't line up perfectly. So he could play for us. It would be effectively like the first half of their season. And then in the summer, he would go back to them if they need him. But I don't think Sinisalo is going to play ball with that. I don't think Sinisalo, he sees himself as being the competitor to Schmeichel. And he said when he was on international duty not too long ago, I want to play more and I'm not like going to hang about much longer, you know? So I mean, if some guy like Leandro Bray shows up in January, number one, why are we wasting the fax machine ink on this, right? Because we obviously know that's what the hell's going on here. But number two, I just fear Sinisalo will be going. And that will mean, unless we're loaning him out somewhere, we'll probably be selling him. That means Celtic will be making even more money this transfer window. He's now a Finland. I think he might have had the one cap when we got him, but he's getting quite close to 10. I think he's maybe at 6 or 7. So transfer value has probably changed quite a bit since we got him from the Aston Villa reserves. So a little kind of side note there. Welsh as well, we expect him to leave. And there is, with Trusty's red card, apparently that's accelerated the interest in another centre-back. And I don't think, so, I've heard some comments and been in group chats and stuff. It's not really about Trusty cover, I don't think. I think it's a realisation that Murray is at a ceiling point here, where Murray needs to go and play a season somewhere, needs to go and get reps, needs to go and be playing football. We can't, like, bring in, you've seen it against Hearts, like, one of the comments on my video from the breakdown is Dane Murray a professional player? And I've seen him look good in little moments of stuff. He's also got the frame and the physicality to be a very commanding centre-back. I think in the SPFL, who knows what position in the table he could play for. But I think he's like, yeah, the physical level gives him a floor to work from. And we need to loan him out at this point to find out where that is. And I think that's the acceleration at centre-back more than anything. Not really the trusty red card, but it's more, particularly if we're going to qualify from Europe, we need an our centre-back, because technically we might have none in the eyes of Martin O'Neill now. He might be saying, I have no backup to centre-back here. That might be the POV. Now, the main centre-back we've had a link to so far is one of the favourites on the channel here, which is Jamie Lawrence. Now, we scouted him extensively on the channel. We've mentioned him a number of times. He fits all the profiles. He's out of contract in the summer. He's young, sell on value. The club will sell to us. He's in transfer range. He's in wage range. He's fucking 2 meters tall, you know, like he's just everything you want in a centre-back. Now, can he scale into the SPFL and into the Europa League, which is where we're at right now? That is always a question. Domestically, I don't think there's going to be much of a question, really, as long as he's not playing with a real patchwork defence, but it is like some random backup goalkeeper, Dane Murray, Ralston and Donovan at left back or something, you know. I think he would come in and add a lot, because part of the conversation really has to be, like, it's not even just about depth in the team, but it has to be about winning the league. Get ARP. Oh, we are reportedly in for another striker. I don't know if you're trying to lead me on a segue here, but I'll just put Welsh and Murray back on the board for a moment here with Sinisalo, since that's just a wee bit of headcanon for me more than anything. But that was the big news that kind of broke today, is Celtic have inquired, reached out, want to know the status of, are monitoring the situation of, I can't remember which one it was this time, Kasper Hoch, or Hoff, or whatever. Scored a brace against Man City, has been absolutely rinsing it for Bodo Glimt in the Norwegian League. A complete bagsman domestically. In the Champions League, I don't think he's been doing too bad either, considering it's Bodo Glimt obviously as well. Their season's ended, so this is like other Champions League at the back end of their season, and they're now in the off season at the moment when they've played Man City, so fully fresh and firing. But very, very bagsman. It's just the only way to put it. If you've seen the goals against City, he walks the walk, he talks the talk. He looks like he's really came into that little spot. 25 years of age. I would really be excited if we got a guy like this, and to be honest with you, but it's not going to happen before Wednesday night. Bodo Glimt still have Champions League to play. It is extremely unlikely that they would be able to creep into the playoff round, but there's no way they're going to be answering faxes or carrier pigeons until after Wednesday night. So anything that's getting reported, it is like Celtic have inquired. There's no way they'll be entertaining this kind of stuff right now. Feels like Dahlberg. I kind of echo that, by the way. And you know, I can't remember who it was that brought this up. It was on one of the collabs, I think, the collab series that we did on the channel. But we had 10 million ready to spend on Dahlberg. Where the hell is that went? And who else was on that list? Because surely, again, like, it wasn't a one-man, okay, we're paid 10 million for this guy. You know, there wasn't, surely logic would dictate there was a striker shortlist of 10 million price tag, give or take 2 million either side, or whatever the range is. Yeah. Freeman. Oh, Freeman would be good still, wouldn't he? Freeman would be good. I find it less likely without Nan saying how that's went. It's been so well covered in America, just how bad we are right now. I don't think that's going to happen. Dahlberg, yeah, I think he's been injured and stuff. The 10 million went. Oh, I suppose that's a good point. Where the hell did that comment go? Yeah, fair enough. More money coming in if O is sold. Yeah, that will be the case. I think we've got a sell-on clause with that one. Not convinced we were after Dahlberg. Yeah, probably not. We're probably used by the agent to get the Ajax move, weren't we? Yeah, maybe. Some of you think it may have been the compensation or whatever. This is quite exciting, but it's mainly opened up the conversation that Celtic are actually after another striker, which I find hard to believe just the Celtic board would be doing that. You know, we clearly need another right winger. We need another defender like we've spoke about. Tierney picking up a knock at the weekend isn't ideal. We've actually received Adam Montgomery back from Livingston. He's injured. Surprise, surprise. Again, same as Welsh. It seems to happen to him every time he gets a wee run in a team, sadly. So, yeah, left back, I know Scales can kind of cover, but again, that just further highlights the no centre back situation. So, I don't want to say it's encouraging, but the fact that the Casper Ho thing has came out and some of the kind of word on the street is that we're scrambling together last minute scouting reports and trying to get a crack team together of aficionados. And you know, guys, like, see, for all the stuff you guys say that I try not to take too seriously about, oh, Quinny, you should do this, and oh, Celtic should do, if they, you know, see if they are see if they have scrambled together like 3 guys, like Maloney, Fotheringham, and some other guy, I don't even know his name, and then the James Bell Walker character. Why not put me in the mix? Why not? Like, all I do is watch football. All I do is watch Celtic. And all I do when I'm watching football, it's not Celtic, is think, could this guy play for Celtic? You know what I mean? It's kind of all I do. And, you know, like, obviously anyway, whatever. But when I read stuff like that, I'm kind of like, man, why not pick up the phone to me? Honestly, like, if you need people in the building that have put their eyes on players and kind of know the measure, and why not, man? Schlager's coming into this. Schlager has no ligaments. Schlager would be brilliant. Schlager would be, if fit, the best midfielder in the league. He would be up there with Matt O'Reilly on figures for me. I don't think there's much discussion around that. He has no ligaments. That's my beginning and my end. If Juve are going to come in for him, he's going to go there all day. Ho, I could, you know, like, when the Championship are interested in our targets, like, it shouldn't blow us out the water, but you just know that Celtic are just unconvincing at getting deals over the line somehow. And again, like, that's one thing, like, as a fan from the outside, you do wonder. We spoke about this on the channel a little bit already. Stevie, good to see you, of course. Movesless Schlager, love that, mate. It's, oh, sugar, what was I going to say there? Sorry. Oh, sugar and spice. Oh, I've just totally derailed my Ho and Championship clubs and stuff. Yeah, it's like, you know, who is closing these deals? Who's pitching Celtic? And again, like, it kind of comes back, and I say, I'm not here to just have a board bashing session, right? But see, when we all know that their goal is kind of Rangers +1, right? And how can you attract exciting players or promising players or that kind of thing and go, I come and play for us and just win the league here? There's no like, oh, we want to get to a European final within the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, whatever. And we want you to play your part in it and taking us forward and all the rest of it. Whereas like Championship clubs can say, we want to get to the Premier League and you're going to fire us there. And yeah, they can pay some more money as well. But a lot of it with modern players, man, you hear it all the time from some of the ones that go all the way to the top, that they stuck it out in a good, or they sought a good opportunity before money on occasions. It's not quite, I say, the norm or industry standard at this point, but smart players, talented players know what a route to the top looks like. And a club like Celtic is on that, you know, for a lot of like promising players, certainly. And I don't think we do a good enough job of pitching, you know, like Celtic makes heroes, like heroes. Like, look at Kyogo before, during, and after. Like, he was a hero here. He is a hero here forever, no matter what I'll say about him. You know, and when it's all said and done, some players don't win that many medals. Some players don't win any medals. But even less players are remembered like really remembered, and not just in a Yusuf Chippo way, you know, like remember that guy? Remember that random player that played for this random team at some point? And Celtic is about that, you know, like, you know, you come here, you do well, you've got a home for life, and you'll actually win some medals, you'll get, you know, all the stuff. So that's they were the two big ones that kind of. So I thought the goalkeeper one, I say it's hard to idea. I kind of like the profile of it, and like, I'm sorry guys, this might upset you, right? I don't really care about Boca or River either way, right? But if I had to pick one, I would pick River, right? And I know that's probably going to upset some of you, right? Fine, right? Whatever. It's only from a football POV. I'm a big Falcao guy, and there's a lot of other guys that River have had that have been pretty sweet players over the years. So with Boca, right? But I would say that Boca is much more of like the Celtic kind of vibe, you know, in terms of like neutrals. Like the same way that you guys will think about Boca. I like Boca too. Boca are cool. I'd love to go to the Bombonera. But if you made me pick one, I'd pick River. Don't tell the Boca fans that. But if Celtic want to like strike up a partnership with Boca, I would be like, that's smart. That's good. Like, imagine we had them as like a conduit for some players. That would be awesome. That would be really good. So if this is like, I like everything around that rumor. I want it to be true. I've got no idea whether it is, but and even whether that's like we could just like again like Bernabe. Imagine we sold Bernabe to Boca for some money when it didn't work out for us. We could maybe take some chances on some players, knowing that Boca, we were going to Boca were going to pay $4 million, where we paid 6. Played for us, wasn't that good, right? We'll sell him to you for 4, but give us that young player for 3 million and do as a deal or something, you know. That's the sort of thing. And you want to think about kits and collaborations and friendlies and all the commercial stuff that Celtic got up to. So like, you know, there's just so many things about this I would like, you know, it'd be cool for everyone. The Casper Ho thing, I think, is really fun for Celtic fans because Celtic fans are just love Bodo. Just love Bodo, don't they? And you know, so that's cool. And the guy fits the profile. He's got, and this is the thing, right? See, if we're signing another striker, this is what we want them to look like. Top of the food chain, top of their league at a top club, used to playing for titles. European experience is great when we can get it. It's not a prerequisite, but we love to get it. This is what Kyogo was. You're going to hate me for saying it. This was what Balikwisha was. This is what Daisen Maeda was. Rio Hatate. This is what they were. Big, dominant players. Maybe, you know, not always to this extent. This is very, very good. But you buy guys top end of leagues, they tend to do better rather than, you know, no harm to him. You know, I quite like him at the moment. But like Tuneki, Yang, these types of guys, they're not league leaders. They're not top of the food chain. You know, they're diamonds in the rough, perhaps. We've not got time or space for diamonds in the rough right now. I don't think so. If this is a sort of profile, like this won't be cheap. Celtic won't be able to mess about either with Bodo and try and do it on the tick. You know, like we'll do it in installments and we'll build it into bonuses and all that. Bodo will, and Knutson, because again, we all know Knutson's on readies, isn't he? Knutsen's on commission. They're going to want paid. And if Celtic are willing to do business with them and get them paid, then that's hopefully like maybe a good indication that something could be a bit of a wake up, because we're also been, again, don't know how credible the reports are. We've also been linked to Felix Meyer. Now, this is a player I profiled in the summer for back when Brendan Rodgers was in charge, for who Celtic could be signing in the window. We were linked to Orja Setter from the Norwegian League, and the theme we had on content back then was, if we were linked to somebody from a league, I would just dive into the league and go, who else could be here? You know, like, who were we maybe originally looking at? Who could we be looking at next? Who have we overlooked? That kind of thing. And this guy was one of the top candidates by a long way. I did think at 26, he's maybe a wee bit out of profile for Celtic. But right now, he's right in profile, because similar to Casper Ho, so he's maybe not quite at that level of proficiency, but he's became an international, very effective for Brand. Brand are in the Europa League now. He's like a key player for them. Yeah, this is, I was chatting about him back in the summer, so we're talking about back around this time here, where he's been very, very effective domestically and starting to get into international lineups after a really good spell this season, or the second half of 2025 or whatever, into the European calendar. It's maybe not, see, again, a lot of this is Europe, isn't it? Yeah, towards the back end here. So it's just tougher opponents and stuff, isn't it? Brand, not a big team. They're not a Bodo or something like that. So when they lose players, it's maybe a bit more Oh, Sean Clark, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. That's where I grew up. So this is a name that stuck with me. So as soon as I seen the links, I was like, oh, we spoke about that guy. I went and dug out the video. Um, Red Top Punts in their name. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I think so. I think so. Any thoughts on who the new manager? Oh, Ben, I've not even got there, man. Honestly, genuinely, the first thing that comes to my head is Kieran McKenna. If Ipswich don't make the Prem, I think that's what Celtic want to do. Think about what Martin O'Neill said before Nancy came in. We were hotly linked to him. I know somebody that works at Ipswich in the first team, and his words to me at the time were McKenna's, yeah, he's Celtic mad, like as a given, he's mad for it. So I think McKenna's the man. If the Ipswich don't get promoted, we're getting them. That's the way I see it. If they get promoted, we've all seen the list. Yeah, Martinez, like, I'm not a Martinez fan. I really think this guy's failed upwards his whole career. But he probably, like Celtic, it's kind of like, if he had Sean Maloney as number 2, it kind of wouldn't be, it can't be any worse than what it is right now. And I'm not saying things are bad, because I quite like, I said this with Stevie Ray on the match show on Axon, but O'Neill, Fotheringham, and Maloney is like a super band. It's like three heroes. So if if O'Neill had to step aside and Martinez just come in on top of that, it would probably be pretty sweet. I could probably get behind it. I could probably change my opinion on Roberto Martinez. But I think that's mainly because the SPFL, for his CV and everything, should be pretty much within his grasp. Now, the interesting thing about Felix Meyer is he is much more of an attacking midfielder. Now, think about what we said already with Chavan Chara and Shin Yamada. Balikwish is an attacking midfielder. We all know that Ben Negren's playing there. We all know that Hitate can play kind of everywhere, but he's often deployed in the more advanced midfield role, isn't he? And McKeown, again, has been playing on the wing with Martin O'Neill, but again, can kind of play everywhere. We're not short, not the quality, the standard. I get we do need to lift that level. Find it weird that this is not weird. I'm surprised that we would go for a Felix Meyer, would go for a playmaker rather than a Nico Segura, for example. Somebody just mentioned him in the chat. There was a whisper a few weeks ago that we might be opening up the case file on him. Maybe we've done a lot of scouting. There is a lot of legwork been done on this deal already, and it was shelved because it was a Tisdale production. Maybe Nancy had okayed it as well, which didn't help his case internally at Celtic. And maybe now they kind of see, oh, well, now that we've scouted around, this guy actually pops up on our radar also. It's kind of, there's not really been much to this, to be honest with you, but that type of profile is what I expected. And to be honest with you, for me, if we are going to get another midfielder, again, a guy I profiled back in the summer, is a prospect to watch out for after. Can I scroll back? Yeah, let's scroll back before I show you him. This is the way he finished his debut season in Belgium. Very strong, box-to-box midfielder, extremely prolific with all the defensive stuff. Big duel winner, wins lots of tackles and interceptions, can take some set pieces, and also crashes into the box. This was his debut season, moving from Algeria, which is where he resides or where he hails from. Keep the hail and all that good chat, Good debut season. We profiled him in the summer. This was a player to watch because at this point, the team he plays for, Charleroi, had a player that was like a talisman in attacking midfield who took all the set pieces and the whole game revolved around. And this season would maybe show some more of him, maybe give him some more opportunity to progress this year. And this season so far, I don't know if I could quite say he's kicked on, but he's doing pretty damn well, I would think. His name is Yassine Tetraoui. He's 22 years of age. He's going to cost the same as probably what Felix Meyer or Casper Ho is going to cost. And he's maybe not quite got he's not got much of a track record in the sense of like he's played like 2 seasons in Europe. He's got some youth international stuff I think about him, not too much. But I quite like this guy. The other midfielder that I am a massive, massive fan of, if we are going to be getting somebody that is a bit more creative, a bit more dynamic, the number one midfielder we should be going for, make no mistake about it, put my name on it, is Jack Mememefin McGlynn. This guy is Matt O'Reilly Mark II. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If we are going to buy another midfielder that's not a defensive midfielder, which we all know that we kind of need. If it's going to be that Felix Meyer type, that more creative attacking player, that it can also work hard, is a box that Jack McGlynn is the one to go for. I'm not going to go right into it all again. We've spoken about him on the channel a number of times, but this is the number one target for me. And I get the whole like MLS stuff, but I think you can see with Araujo, like Araujo was brilliant in MLS and he's translated well. The top players, the top of the food chain guys in these leagues are the ones to be looking at, not the the underlying data on this guy suggests and a dominant force. Let's say, that we're not really after that right now. We're after this guy is brilliant. He plays well. The team he's in is really bad. Let's put him in a good team with better players, hopefully. And I say hopefully because who knows if our players are better than Houston Dynamo. And if you know anything about Houston Dynamo, that is a slur. That is a slur. Again, there was chat about Engels to Leipzig. Again, I would imagine we got like Felix Meyer and Engels left. Or we got Segur and Felix Meyer and I wouldn't rule something absolutely batshit crazy happening at Celtic, to be quite honest with you, when it comes to the midfield stuff. Another striker to come in, the striker market is the only one I kind of concede in January is a tough window. I've still got my favourite. My favourite isn't going to get you off your chair too much, I don't think, in terms of his goal records, whatever. He's one of those underlying data guys that would really fit the system. He's one of them. I don't really feel comfortable putting him on screen because it's just a bad shout for right now. He's not necessarily I'm not saying he wouldn't work. I would still like to see him at Celtic, but I wouldn't like, oh yeah, bring him in now and we're cooking, Schlager's been playing. He's been playing a lot more this season than he has in the previous 2 or 3. Happy haircut. Thank you very much. You can see my ears. Remember, I've got ears. The chat's kind of ran away a wee bit. I was just trying to keep up with it a wee bit there. I'm not sure I can get back on top of all of that. I'll try and catch in again with these in a moment. But I did promise she's a new name, right? Now I do feel that right wing, I think we all agree that right wing, right forward is kind of a position we want reinforcements in. Now, I've spent a bit of time on this one. I've really tried to put myself in Celtic's shoes, right? And what do I mean by that, right? We need to get somebody that is very, very good, someone that can play in the forward line, ideally on the right wing, and be very, very effective. A guy that's done it, a guy that's played at a big team, and a guy that, could we get a loan with a buy option? And we're looking for a guy that is probably similar to Kavan Kara, damaged goods, or one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's the kind of thing that we're after. And for the right wing, there's some good options out and around there, right? But when I came across this guy, I thought, hold the press. This is exactly who we want to go for. Now, at the moment, it doesn't make for great reading. So stay with me on this one, right? It won't take long, but it should make sense quite quickly, right? Oguz Aydin, right? This guy plays for Fenerbahce. I've watched a lot of Fenerbahce this year. They've been doing very well. They've been spending crazy money. They've got a great team. And this guy has been replaced 4 times over already in this window. He's a left winger, right winger, can play both sides. He is right-footed, okay? And Fenerbahce spent 6 or 7 million euros on him a few years ago after he had a breakout year at Alanyaspor. Now, at Fenerbahce, if we can look at it here, he's done okay. Like, since he's been there, a rotation player, a squad player, has done well. Started off very good when he first came in, and it's kind of waned away. He's also got into the Turkey team, and look at that. 2 games for Turkey. Turkey are a good nation. Oh, look at this. More games for Turkey. Good-looking guys get some senior international credentials. But the team that they signed him from, Alanyaspor, Fenerbahce have mainly played him left wing. He's played kind of everywhere. He's very versatile in that sense. But the team he was at before, Alanyaspor, played him right wing. And again, I use that expression, top of this is in the Turkish league for Alanyaspor, right? Goals and assists, bagsman, talisman, real standout performer, absolutely took the league by storm in a big, big way. Getting this guy on loan with a buy option should be a doddle. Should not be that hard. I don't think, I've not read anything saying he is outwardly trying to leave. Fenerbahce, though, are shedding talent because, like I say, they have overstocked on wingers. They have got too many wingers, left wingers and right wingers. And this guy is so far down the pecking order right now. He is only getting in for like absolute. He's like Shin Yamada for us, basically, in terms of how little he's coming in for. They've played one winger here. This is the system they're playing with now. Talisca's basically a second striker, and then on their bench, the Szymanski's just left, but they've this probably isn't a good game because they've actually signed like 2 guys that aren't in that squad in Europe and stuff like that. Yeah, these games here, he's DNP'd is probably the best way to look at it. And he's not even getting into squads right now. Musaba's a right winger. They've tried playing Nene right wing. Kerem, they've tried playing right wing. Talisca, they've tried playing right wing. And there's somebody else as well that's maybe not even made this squad. But anyway, he is surplus to requirements. Very gettable. And has all the track record stuff that Celtic could want. Now, far be it from me to go and say, look at highlight reels, right? But if you look at his highlights, you will like this guy a lot. There's a lot to like about him. He's 25. Why not? This is the sort of guy I'd like to see as he's maybe not quite Skov Olsen in terms of like profile, and he was a wonder kid and Bruges and Champions League and money, Wolfsburg and all that. But like impact and stuff and what he brings to the party. This is my guy I want for right wing. There's some other ones. Again, I just thought I would try and keep the stream as coherent as I could and concise. But I think sadly, the focus is probably going to be more, I feel, on striker rather than a winger. I don't know why. I just don't actually think we will go for a winger. We've done these videos a bunch of times. I've deleted all the places before, but we'll make some back in again. We expect. I'm just going to put a goalkeeper here. Loan, right? We expect some sort of goal from the word on the street. A centre back. Celtic are frantically trying to get. What sort of mid do we call this? I'm just going to put box to box. And I think it's like a right forward we're after. Kind of, isn't it? Casper Ho, does he have much versatility? I've not really looked into that, actually. But yeah, that's the 4 signings that Celtic are meant to be going after. Van Cara not play right wing. Now, Van Cara they tried to play him on the wing in Gladbach, and he didn't like it. He did really bad there. I think the thing with Van Cara, from the whole like he's not a target man thing and whatever, is I liked what I've seen from him in the central role. He can play centre forward, but being centre forward and being a target man isn't the same thing. Target man is Haaland is probably like the top guy now for it, but I'm more thinking like Gyökeres is like, or Gyökeres, whatever you want to call him, like target man. Like he's like just put him in the box and hit stuff off him. The guy's maybe for me, and again, I'm obviously not saying he's of this level, but a bit more like Haaland in the sense of like Haaland will gallop through the pitch as a centre forward. Now, we don't really get that opportunity in matches because so many defences are very deep against us. But I think as a centre forward, I can see why a team like Gladbach would try him in the wide area. It's kind of similar to us playing Dyson out wide because you just want him to be out wide and come in side as like a secondary forward if the ball can go down with one of your wingers down the other side of the pitch. Could we try that with him? Sure. But I wouldn't class him as a winger any more than I'd class Dyson Maeda as a winger. It's more like wide forward, I think. Because that run he made, like again, don't really get much of them from Dyson these days, do you? Quite a Dyson Maeda run when you think about it. So it's more like you could maybe see him do that kind of shift for us, but exactly, mate. That's what's really kind of baffling about it. And surely if like Sinisalo sees somebody else is coming in, he's like, what? Get to France, So yeah, apparently that I wouldn't waste the fax machine ink on it, but there you go. A centre back I think does a lot for us because even if this midfielder that we buy is more attacking, see having a better defender back here. And I like Scales and Trusty. I've been very full of praise for both of them this year. But to get another centre back in here that can lift the level, increase the competition in the squad, give you a bit more confidence at the back, this season you probably will make the team better defensively. We don't really need to worry about Europe in that sense. Like I know we're going to get through the Europa League, that's what we want to do, or all the rest of it. But the number one objective with the squad construction is the team, is the league. Defending set pieces, scoring them, and all the rest of it. Oh, Jordan. Now, if Copenhagen, oh my God, don't do that to me. If Copenhagen, don't do that to me. Wait, the last time we did one of these streams, we watched a wee bit. We watched a wee bit of Larson at Moscow, didn't we? I think I got copyrighted for that, by the way. So, yeah, Copenhagen. They're not gonna. Oh yeah, if they don't qualify, by the way, oh, I'd spend so much money on Jordan Larson. He's exactly what we need right now. Like, he is great. He can play right forward, right wing, the way we would want someone to do it as well. He would sell so much merch as well, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Not another penny. I know. I got in trouble for saying that last time. Sorry, right? But Larson in the hoops. Can you imagine it? Next, the big Kavankara. Horvat, he's going somewhere. He was the one that scored that screamer against us. I'm sure it was him that did that. And he has been linked to, it's not Blackburn, right? But it's a team like that, like Hull or something. He's going somewhere like that, I think. Yeah, I think see when he was younger, that would have been a problem, right? But honestly, like, he's his own man now. He's his own man. I don't think. I think he could handle it. Maybe Henrik would. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Henrik would like discourage him from it. It wouldn't shock me, just because I think he would want him to kind of walk his own path, as it were. But Jordan Larson, he is good, but that's the thing, is like I know he's good enough, and there is like, if you go back, like, there's very old content where I said don't sign Jordan Larson, and that's when we had Maeda, Jota, and Abada, and Forrest on the wings, and maybe somebody else was in the mix back then. I'm forgetting, but it was like, if we signed him and he was like out of contract and he was free, he was like in the wilderness. It's like, he's not going to play for us. He needs to play anyway. Yeah, I don't know why. I think I don't know. I think we all feel that, don't we? Whatever that unspoken thing is. Samaras, are we bringing him back? Or is that Kavankara? Yeah, Samaras, that winger. It's not a winger, it's a kind of wide forward. I'm a great guy. Great comment, if that's what you're aiming for. If Copenhagen don't qualify, I think it would be because Copenhagen got him for pennies. He was a free transfer out of Schalke, or free contract, or maybe they paid a little bit for him. But he would do so good here. I think Iodine, like, if Sean Maloney phoned me up right now, or Michael Nicholson or whatever, and he said, Quinny, who's the right forward, the right winger we should go for that we can get? It's 4 days to the deadline, all the parameters of reality that we're living in. I'd say go and get Iodine, go and get Jack McGlynn, go and get Jamie Lawrence, and when is this fucking league, you know? Play Quinny on the wing. That is a great way to lose the title. I've got good energy for a chimney. Maspanisi, I actually totally forgot to bring him up, but I do think, again, there has been whispers. I'm so glad you said that, Paul. Thank you. There has been whispers. I made the joke at the beginning of the stream that we're going to offer them Welsh, and it was one of you guys made the comment, 1 million club card points, which is just incredible. I do think that there is strong whispers to suggest that Martin O'Neill has greenlit Maspanisi, and surely, I'm so glad you commented on that, so I forgot to mention him, but surely getting Maspanisi in is a given at this point. Surely they're just on the phone to Motherwell going, right, we'll pay the $1. Here it is, you know. That's one of the guys in. There's still this midfielder position. There's still maybe a striker. I guess we'll put our striker on here, eh? Centre forward, I'll call him. Casper Ho. Maspanisi, or I'd go with Iodine. If we can, I'd like Maspanisi too. I wouldn't mind too much. I think Iodine's a bit more Jota, but, you know, in terms of like a guy that could just come in and like blow everyone's socks off. Box to box, yeah, Jamie Lawrence for defence. I'm not really sure there's another good defence candidate out there for our situation as well. You really want someone that can, you know, their feet's been held to the fire and they've been tested, you know. That would be great. That would be great. And I see these comments quite a lot, and that's why I try not to take them too seriously. But I also wonder, why is it always me and Alan? Why is it not me, Alan, and James? I always wonder that. Yeah, there you go. Stevie Ray. doing the heavy lifting for us. Love that. Yeah. I've noticed he doesn't play a lot of 90 minutes as well. He does play a few domestically, but I think that team, one thing I've noticed with Larson is that they have a really strong rotation pattern. Like, see, Copenhagen, see my biggest bugbear with Celtic in the Ronnie Deila era is that we never tried to PSG it, right? And what I mean is what Copenhagen's done this year in the Champions League, where the domestic game, unless they're playing a top of the table opponent, the domestic game before the Champions League, Copenhagen play their second string for the most part. Maybe one or two first teamers will still play. It depends on the level of the opposition. See, under Ronnie Deila, like that period, that was the only thing. I didn't mind us being a bit cheaper. And like, yeah, Rangers aren't in the league. I kind of get the buy Scottish guys, get all the wee Man City guys like and Cham and Denier you can and whatever. I get that. That's fine. But can we build the team so that we're playing 6 games this year and it's in the Champions League and everything revolves around doing well like that? And we didn't do it. And I thought, okay, maybe that's just me being naive, that would be not a good strategy or just not based in reality. It's not Football Manager kind of chat, you know. That's what Copenhagen's done. And Larson, again, when you look at his minutes, a part of that is maybe added into the flavour. But yeah, maybe 90 minutes is something he's not really got under his. Oh, okay. I kind of like that, but I kind of like that. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sorry I asked, by the way. We're getting a bit of a review on Huddle Breakdown here. But yeah, fair enough. Personal preferences and all the rest of it. I like them both equally. I just, yeah. I wouldn't, not that anyone else should, you know, but I wouldn't feel comfortable saying Alan without saying James, if you get me. I feel that it's a tandem. Maybe, again, I said this on Axom. If you are going to go and throw the kitchen sink at it, and you need to get these 4 players in, let's bring it back to reality a bit more, shall we? Still, the centre back, there is no centre back in the league other than Connor Allen. There's no centre back in the league that looks like Celtic should even sign them, other than Connor Allen. So I still fancy Jamie Lawrence to be headed up for that. But the other midfield position, if you were to go and get Elliot Watt, Masmanise, and Bowie, I think you'd have a really hard time stopping us domestically. Just with the momentum and everything that would give. Who knows whether they could do anything for us beyond this year. Bowie and Elliot Watt would be big question marks for stepping up and stuff. But I think from what we've seen so far, we're all kind of willing to take that gamble, aren't we? Barkas actually didn't play last Thursday night. Utrecht are dead and buried. I think they've given up. They might play Barkas against us for banter because, you know, Dutch teams love to banter Celtic, but they didn't play some of their best players last Thursday and they lost. So they've got even less to play for now. Hibs rejected 5 mil, yeah, from Verona, was it? Yeah, Hellas Verona. It's the Adam Ida playbook again, isn't it? And this is, how often are we competing with Hellas Verona for transfers? Hellas Verona, by the way, I've got a no bad squad on paper. We could have done with winning a few more of those transfers. But I think we've got a good crop of domestic talent currently. We don't always have good domestic talent. I think I really got fed up with it when we signed Chifchi. I really didn't like Chifchi. I thought Chifchi was terrible. I couldn't believe we signed him in the first place. And I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that. And I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. McCowan's fine. I like McCowan. I'm sure there's been many others over the years since Chifchi. But at the moment, there's a great crop domestically. You're just not going to get anyone out of Hearts. Obviously, Rangers. Not that you would. Yeah, Chifchi was terrible. Yeah, Stephen, we really should be just signing him. Masmanisi, that is. Elliot Watt as well. If you're after a midfielder, like, again, someone said in one of these live chats that he's a Rangers fan. So, and again, like, should you care about that? Do we care about that? That's up to you. I'm just letting you know someone said that. So that might be part. Maybe he cares. You know? Oh, Riordan was before Chifchi. Yeah, I'm fairly sure of that. Chifchi was, Deila and Riordan was Strachan. Yeah, and again, people make this point as well by buying from those guys. You take away their strength as well. So imagine we did just buy 2 of Motherwell's players. We would need to give them. Basically, we'd be selling their season, wouldn't they? So you would need to give them like something chunky for that, and do it. If these are the players you want, these are the positions we need. They're very strong candidates to work out well. I think the Maswinisi domino could fall quite quickly. I think this lone goalkeeper thing, because of how random it is probably going to happen dead quickly. Exactly. Like, do you care? Greg Taylor, like, who do you care? Should we care? It's up to you. I'm just putting it out there because some people care. Some people like to know this stuff. And I don't even know if it's true. Don't even know if it was true. Shouldn't be a problem. Should it? 6 million for Hoff? Yeah. And AJ, we've had a few of these chats over the years. I remember when O'Reilly was leaving, we were chatting about like replacing players domestically, and it was like McGrath and Lennon Miller were the 2 guys that if you were shopping domestically, you would look at, and whether they could have made the step ups and all the rest of it is another thing. But yeah, I like McGrath. It I think the ship has sailed with Celtic and McGrath, though, to be honest. Yeah, nothing definite. Regina, you're correct there. And I think we're pretty much close to the end of this one. I wanted to add in just kind of what's been going on, the kind of rumour mills, show you guys little bits and pieces of some of these players, mention some of the guys I fancy as well, or not, players I would like Celtic to sign, right? But yeah, I don't feel anything involving a European team would happen before Wednesday night, before Thursday night. City was big fish. Oh, Chefchi. Oh, sorry, it says City there. It kind of confused me, that comment there. Sorry. I'm hoping we have some breaking news and all the rest of it. We'll be previewing Utrecht tomorrow. I'm not too sure. Maybe, probably. We'll have lineup reaction or something probably to Utrecht on Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night we'll be live when the team comes out. I really want to do that tomorrow, Thursday. So Thursday, the game kicks off at 8, so we'll be live at 7:15. I'll book that stream so it's on the channel so you can see it. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if we'll be live or we'll have a video, but we'll have something out for sure. And Friday we'll be previewing the weekend, and hopefully there's transfer window stuff that's kind of unrolling, and hopefully Celtic give us a call or an email. If they're scrambling together like what's the room? What's the? Why not, man? Why not? Phone? Why not? Like, honestly, I can only add more names. Or I can go and speak to people, tell them how great Celtic's going to be, and you're going to be a hero. Don't worry about it. I'll look after you. You're coming with me, son. Oh, yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone that tuned in. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that smashed the like button. Really does mean a lot. We're sitting on 130 likes right now, which is great for a live. And if you want to support the channel, you want to support the content, we're very, very close, guys. Our target for a long time has been 18,888 subscribers. And I can almost taste it. We're very, very close to it. So if you've not done so already, please do hit subscribe. If you have already subscribed, I say supporting the content, you just get in to the live chat, hit the like button, leave a comment. Comment section opens up after we've been live. And again, it goes a long way to supporting the channel. So if you want to do that, it means a lot. It goes a long way to helping us grow and reach our targets. And maybe we get enough subs where we do get that wee phone call, Whatever. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. And hail, hail. And there's fuck all news. It kind of rhymed, didn't it?